I'm the host of Creative Mornings Munich, and I am so excited to see so many of you joining us today on this gloomy but potentially sunny morning. I hope that you're great, that you had some nice food, and that you are in a good mood for the session. First of all, before we start, who here has already attended a Creative Mornings somewhere in the world in the past? Awesome, great. So for those who haven't, I will just say a few words so that you all know what Creative Mornings is all about before we dig deep into our monthly topic. So Creative Mornings is a really cool concept that started in the US over 10 years ago. And basically the idea is to have a creative talk, an inspiring talk, around the free coffee and breakfast. It started in New York, and soon it spreads to different other cities around the world. And today we are present in over 200 chapters. Okay. And actually, so how it works is that there is one common topic per month, and then different chapters around the world all speak around this topic. This month's topic is justice. And around the world, different speakers are going to tackle the same topic, but from very different points of view. So in case you're interested, you can also go to CreativeMornings.com and see how some other chapters tackle the topic by watching some of the other videos. Today, we are here at this beautiful, great location, Kobe. Is this how we pronounce it? Kobe. Kobe, sorry, Kobe. And I'm really, really thankful that you guys opened the door to us, that everything is organized so beautifully. So I would like to ask Felix to join me here and tell you a little tiny bit about what this place is so that you can understand better what all the creative energy is. Please, Felix.
Thank you very much. So, hi, I'm Felix. I'm one of the founders of Kobe. And I'm as excited as you are to welcome more than, I think, 50, 60 people today in August, in summer in Munich. That's a lot of people on a Friday morning. So first of all, thank you to XDA for doing this together with us. Thanks to Eva of Mage, she provided us with all the seating, the additional seating, because we're not equipped for 67 people. I'm going to make this short because it's Katha's stage today. We're a UX UI design agency. We've been around for 7 years now already. Feels like 2. We have 2 offices, one here in Munich, one that is almost as nice as this one in Osijek, in Croatia. Everyone should know that. And we're roughly 50 researchers, developers, designers. And besides Kobe, we have another startup called Kickbase, so everyone who's interested in fantasy sports and football, you should try that out. It's running pretty well. But today it's about mindfulness, and mindfulness is a very important part at Kobe and for the Kobe culture. And we have a dedicated person at Kobe that takes care of everyone being mindful. That includes breathing, which is important. But you will find out more about this today. Meditation, yoga, so it's about physical and mental health, which for us is important to do great work every day. And this we do for a couple of awesome clients, of course. Yeah, but I think that's enough about Kobe. You can follow us on Instagram at kobesfresh.com, www.kobesfresh.com. No, it's not at kobesfresh, no, without.com. So, that's enough from me. Make yourself feel at home. We have Boo prepared a nice little breakfast for all of you guys. And I'm looking forward to talk to you later on. But now it's got the stage. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Felix. Also, if you guys have any question about this place, don't hesitate to later on approach Felix or anyone from the team if you have any questions. We are very, very thankful as well to Spinning Wheel and to Nico, Riva. Spinning Wheel is helping us with the video. and Nico is around taking photos so that we can spread the word about the event even after the event itself. One final thing, so this is our team. You can find us by our tags. So if you have any questions for us from the organization point of view, don't hesitate to approach us. We are always looking for new volunteers as well to join. We're especially looking for photographers and videographers, but anyone who is motivated to bring something to the team is welcome. So if you want to become part of the team, don't hesitate to just approach one of the team members and we'll get it from there. Now, without further ado, this month's topic is justice. In case you'd like to spread the word further, tell your friends about the event, tag us on Instagram or on Twitter, any kind of social networks you're using. You can use the hashtag CMJustice or at CreativeMornings Munich. This would be very amazing because we always try to get even more people at our event. So even if you want to join us next time, bring your friend and let's grow the creative community here in Munich. So now I would like to invite Katharina here. She is a really, really lovely person. I didn't know her before. And she has actually a background in psychology. She's a UX researcher, design strategist, and she has been practicing yoga for almost 10 years, like 8 or something. So I'm super, super excited about the talk. So I will stop talking and give the stage to Katharina. Thank you so much.
Yes, good morning everybody. Katja already introduced me to you guys, and today I would like to talk about non-judging justice, the mindful way. So since I'm having many roles here at Colby, I'm always trying to combine these roles, being a design strategist, a UX researcher, but also a yogi. So I'm really focusing on how can we put more mindfulness into our working life. This is why we teach yoga twice a week here, and this is why we just try to put a little bit more mindfulness into our life. But my first question for you guys is, who of you ever meditated before or got in contact with meditation? Wow, that's amazing. Nice. And for those of you who never meditated before, please just be open to it and let come whatever comes to you. Because this morning I would like to start a little bit different than we usually start. So I'm asking you to just take everything out of your hands if you're holding onto something. And make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. And yeah, I know it's tough to not drink coffee now. Just deal with it. Close your eyes. And find a comfortable seated position. And then take a deep, deep inhale through your nose. And a deep exhale through your mouth. Let it out. Do this 2 more times. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Beautiful. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let everything go. Let all the expectations go. Maybe you rushed here in the morning. And then start focusing on the tip of your nose. And just observing your breath. How you inhale naturally and exhale. Don't have to do anything. Just observe your breath. Whenever your mind wanders, that's totally fine. Just come back to observing your breath. There is no more you need to do in that moment. but observe. Don't judge whether your breath is good or bad, long or short. And then slowly you can come back in the room, open your eyes. Good morning. It's nice to start a talk like that and have totally silence, right? In the room with so many people. So what is actually mindfulness? What you guys just experienced is mindfulness. We can't really measure mindfulness, like for example, we can measure the user experience of an app. We have to really experience it. We have to really feel it. And there are many people that try to find definitions for mindfulness. And actually mindfulness is a moment-to-moment awareness without judgment. So you were just observing your breath and not judging whether it's a good breath or a bad breath, long or short. Because often we get stuck in thinking about the past or worrying about the future, right? And when does it actually happen that we are really in the present moment, really there? So that's what mindfulness is all about. It's about being in the moment. And now coming to the topic of the month, what is actually justice? I looked it up in the Cambridge Dictionary, and it says it's fairness in the way people are dealt with. So we always have to find a relative in order to judge whether something is fair or not, good or bad, right or wrong, right? And we live in a constitutional state. So we have laws that exist in order to tell us whether something is right or wrong. And we need this in order to live together, right? But how can actually then mindfulness and justice work together? All of a sudden we have this mindful approach. All of a sudden we try to not judge. But how can we do this when we grew up in a world where we always put things in boxes, where we learn as childs what is good and what is bad? How can we really establish mindfulness in our life? This is what I would like to talk with you guys about today. And I called it the non-judging justice, because I'm convinced that when we stop judging but start accepting, we can live in justice. And first, I would like to explain to you how this mind shift came from. So all of a sudden, everybody is riding with a yoga mat to the studio, is doing meditation before work and whatever. But where does it actually come from? Well, let's have a look at the needs hierarchy by Maslow. It's quite old, it's from 1943, but still it serves its purpose. You can see here we have the physiological needs. So we are all satisfied with that. We have the need for safety, love and belonging, esteem, and on top of that, self-actualization. So we are all striving for that higher self. We are all striving for changing our identity, because all the other things are already there in our life, right? So maybe you notice that we are very famous for that at Kobe. We always try to self-optimize ourselves, right? So we go to keto diet, we go to vegan diet, we do intermittent fasting, we have all of that. So Boo, our office manager, sometimes is a little bit confused what we should do for a family lunch because, you know, we are very special in a way. Yeah, so we are all striving for this self-actualization. And we can observe a shift from a pursuit of money, status, and personal achievements more towards a pursuit of a life in balanced simplicity, connectedness, and people and the environment. which is actually very nice, isn't it? I mean, it's a nice shift to observe. But what happens then is that we end up being octopuses. What I mean with that is we have so many opportunities in our life, but also everybody expecting something from us, right? We have to be super slim. We have to not be sassy with food. We have to be a good colleague. We have to go to the gym. We have to be a party person, but we also have to stay healthy. We have to be a sex machine, but we also have to sleep for 8 hours. And now, after my talk, on top of that, now you also have to be mindful. Wow. Cool. So that we don't put this mindfulness just as another add-on onto our never-ending to-do list, I would like to give you 3 super easy things to accomplish in your life to just establish a little bit more mindfulness in your life without ending up like this. So let's start with the first one. As Felix already said, we breathe a lot. So just breathe. And if you're saying, well, just breathe, I mean, really? I breathe every day, all the time. If I wouldn't breathe, I wouldn't be alive. Can I just please leave the room because the talk is very awkward? Let me explain this to you. Yeah, you're right. You breathe every day, all the time. But when are you actually paying attention to your breath? Rarely, never, right? And so we yogis call that pranayama, which means extended life force. So the yogis say, the longer your breath, the longer your life. They compare a mouse to an elephant. So they say a mouse has a very, very short breath, so they don't live very long. And an elephant has a very long breath, and they live for very long. That's what they say. Well, what benefits do these pranayama or this breath work really have? Well, first of all, if you really focus on your breath and start to calm your breath, you can really calm your nervous system and release anxiety, depression, or sleeping disorders. On the other hand, we also have different breathing techniques which really keep you going and give you a lot of energy because you can put so much breath into your lungs. And yeah, you get really excited, right, Felix? And what else? Well, you can also release gastric problems with it. You can release headaches. So there are many, many benefits to that. And what they say is things people love, they make up many, many words for it. For example, Eskimos have 52 words for the word snow. And Americans have 13 words for the word sandwich, and we yogis have many, many words for the word breathwork because we love it so much. But I won't go into detail with that. It will take too long. So I keep it short and I say breath is boss. It's really as simple as that. Once you start noticing your breath, and doing a breathing technique, it can really, really calm you down. How can we really establish this at our working place? How does that help? Because we're breathing already, right? So what should we do? So, for example, if you have a salary negotiation and you only have 15 minutes to convince your boss, you can go to the toilet and start noticing your breath, just as you did at the beginning. And you can count your breath to 10, and you will notice that you can really, really calm down because you are just in the moment, in the present moment. So you can guess what I just did before the talk. But now I talked so much about it, and I told you that we have to experience mindfulness, so let's breathe together. I took out the so-called square breath, which is quite easy. So you take the same inhalation for 4 times, and then you have a break in between for 4 times, and then you breathe out for 4 times, and then you have a break in between. But don't worry, I will guide you through it. So please close your eyes for one more time. Take your phones out of your hands, if you have anything in your hand. Close your eyes, and just one more time, find a very comfortable seat. And start to inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And then normally come back to breathing for 2 to 3 times. Breathe normally. Observe how your body moves when you inhale and exhale. And then slowly open your eyes again. Just take a notice how you feel after that breath work. Maybe you feel a little bit more calm. And I know sometimes there is this little panic in this gap, right? You think like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm not gonna survive. And then you can get over that and just feel that gap in between your inhalation and exhalation. And if you're practicing it for a longer time, you can even prolong that break. So that was the first step, just breathe. The second step is don't ever take anything personal. And this is just easier said as actually practiced. In yoga, we say non-attachment, so no attachment to anything. We humans really tend to define ourselves via objects and persons and places and jobs. So we just always put ourselves in boxes, right? So there once again comes this judgmental behavior. But actually, life makes it much more easier when you say, well, it's not everything mine. So these objects don't belong to me and I don't identify myself with these objects. It can also save you a lot of energy when you don't really care much about it. You can just have a look at my phone and I didn't spend any energy on being angry that it fell or whatever. It's just an object. I don't care. The same thing belongs to relationships. We always tend to say, oh, that's my boyfriend and that's my friend and we possess these people, and it can get very hard. But how can we refer that to the working environment? I know that especially in the creative field, we tend to be very, very obsessed with our projects and they become our babies. We just wrote a book and we got a little bit obsessed with it. And yeah, I know that in creative processes, we sometimes get stuck, right? Because we are striving so much forward to it and we just want it to work. We want our baby to work. And we start to identify ourselves only with these projects and only with the outcome. And this can get very, very frustrating, right? And so then it's very, very important to just step out of the situation, out of the project, and just let it be for a moment. And then all of a sudden, the inspiration and the creative ideas will come much easier. The third point is show appreciation, be gentle and kind. I know this sounds like a very cheap Insta quote, so let me explain to you what's really behind it. So in the Sanskrit or in the yoga language, we call it ahimsa, which means non-harming. So no harm to your body and no harm to anybody else. But let's put a little bit more science into that. How does this really come from, this no harming? We human beings have a really need for appreciation. So the fourth basic need is appreciation. So everybody just wants to be appreciated for what they do. And it's in our needs. And so if we don't feel appreciated at work, we don't really feel very motivated, right? And this need for appreciation is closely linked to the need of belonging to somebody. We always want to belong to a certain social group, and we also define ourselves through things, right? And if we don't really belong to any group, or if we feel rejected, scientists found out that this pain of rejection is actually in the same area as physical pain. So when we experience this rejection, we feel very frustrated, we don't feel motivated. And children can be very, very direct in their communication. So maybe you remember that being on the playground and being rejected, right? They just say, you can't sit with us. But still adults do that, but they do it in a more subtle way. So sometimes it can be even more painful to experience that. Coming back to the working environment, I would like to give you one example. So I was doing a desk research for a really, really nice project that we're doing now for a new app. So I was doing that desk research, and I was presenting that to my colleagues. Now they all listen to it. And what happened was that everybody was so busy on their laptops and on their phones that I really didn't feel appreciated at all for what I was doing, and I really lost a lot of motivation doing that meeting. And yeah, I really felt like, okay, it was a waste of time. Why did I actually do that desk research? So just think of a situation in your working environment where you got just a nice little appreciation of your colleague. Maybe it was just, oh, you have a nice skirt, or well, that was a really good job. Oh, wow, thanks for helping me, whatever. Just these little small appreciations. Maybe you have something in your mind. And then think about it. What happened to your motivation afterwards? What happened to your feeling, to your mood? We all just strive for this appreciation. So if we are all just striving for this appreciation, why don't we just start giving this to other people first, and not always only asking for this appreciation on the other hand? I know this sounds very easy, but we really tend to forget these things. So let me summarize for you. The first important thing is just breathe. The second one is don't ever take anything personal. And the third is show appreciation, be gentle and kind. So now I'm done with that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and for being here. Yeah, we are very happy to host you this morning. If you have any questions to us, please let us know. And yeah, follow us on Instagram and get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's open the floor to a few questions. So I hope that this has resonated with you as much as it has with me. So do you have any questions for Katharina? Yeah, please, here in front.
Thanks for the talk. It was great. Your second point with not getting attached to a project, I also suffer from that. Do you have any practical solutions or ideas how I can help non-attach myself?
Yeah, well, I think it's a mindset, you know? When you always remind yourself not to attach from that, you can really establish that. It won't work from right away, and you can always get into that pattern, but just reminding yourself of that, so just writing it onto something and getting a reminder will change your habit. It will not come from now to tomorrow, but just constantly, slowly changing it, and then it will change your habit. Do that. Yeah. Just write yourself some reminders somewhere.
Will do.
Yeah.
I have a question. Thank you. It was a really nice talk. I really enjoyed it. It's great to practice this and to be, as you said, breathe and then not be kind and non-judgmental. There's always one person in an office, at least, who's a bit difficult. So how do you do that? If there's all of you, have you any experience where practicing that has changed their behaviour, or how do you deal with that, or because I was just wondering, how do you manage that? It could be your boss, it could be someone you have to work closely with. What do you do?
Well, first of all, we don't have difficult people, right? I mean, I have to say that now, because I mean, I'm here, so I can't answer that question to you. No, just kidding. I mean, of course, sometimes it's very hard to when people are not open for the mindful topic, and it's hard to work with them. Most of the times they are not open for being mindful, right? So it's extra hard, but you can convince people with facts. That's a really good point. Like convincing them with hard facts rather than being like super flowy with things, and then also not putting a lot of pressure onto people that they have to do it, but just trying it out for 1 or 2 times. And also the third point was show appreciation. So once you really start doing that, they will notice and they will give something back. I'm very sure of that. It just takes some time. Did that help you?
Yes.
Okay.
Add something to it. I experienced that you actually could not change people. I mean, people have to want to change themselves. So even if you are like very mindful and like be gentle, etc., I think it's just a source of being unlucky if you always expect it from others. I think we have to just live it, and then this will influence other people.
Yeah, I would agree on that. It's all about the mindset, yeah. And we can't put a lot of pressure on them and tell them you have to change. Yeah, that's true.
It's just more like, thanks a lot. It was really nice, and you have a very lovely way of presenting things. But I was just wondering, in a more practical way, do you also actually give like yoga sessions or mindfulness sessions here at the office?
Yeah, we do that twice a week.
Okay.
So we started with 1 yoga session a week, and you have to imagine there are many super cool designers. And now I, with my blonde hair, super small, came and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do yoga now. How about that? So you can do yoga with everybody, and they're gonna love it. And now we do it twice a week. And of course, there are some people that don't like it, but that's totally fine. And I was just doing a mindfulness summer school in Amsterdam, and now we even start doing meditation classes once a week, and everybody is really excited about it. So let's see how that works.
Okay, so did you start with like a 30-minute session for mindfulness then, or how long do you do the?
So the yoga class is always 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we always start. I always start my yoga classes with a little meditation. So that's always part of it. But we now notice that some people don't really like the physical exercise, so we're gonna offer meditations as well.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Well done.
Well, how does that change the situation in the office? Did you recognize any changes?
Yeah, it's very nice to have that space in the yoga classes because it makes a lot with your dynamics, and people are more open to tell how they feel and to be more sensible if any other person doesn't feel that good on the day or whatever. You know, they're more accepting, I would say. Would you like to add something to that? Yeah.
I would also have one question.
Yeah.
So let's say that you're in a meeting
Yeah.
and there is a colleague or someone who is in the meeting who kind of comes across like very harsh and kind of seems to attack you a bit. Should you always just be gentle and kind? Or should you sometimes also show a bit your teeth and say, you know what, that's not how this is? Or how would you say you could react in such situations?
Yeah, the first thing would be to just don't take it personal. So that's what I mean, like don't putting everything on myself, because I tend to do that. Just an easy example, when you go to the supermarket and the cashier is super grumpy, I used to put everything, I always thought it's my fault. Like, okay, but sometimes it's just the other person has just a bad day, you know? You can't put all the emotions onto yourself. So that would be the first point. And then, of course, being nice. I mean, I wouldn't shout rude badly back, but I would strongly say, like, this is still my space and you just got into my space and this is not respectful. So, yeah, I would try to do that, yeah.
Do we have some last questions? Then I would suggest that we stop here. You're all more than welcome to still hang around, get some more coffee, get some more muesli, and if you'd like, Katharina will be here a little bit longer, so you can always approach her and ask anything you'd like. Don't hesitate to approach any of the organization team, but otherwise I would just say big thank you, Katharina, for being here with us. Felix and the team for opening the door to us, and to every one of you guys for coming and making this a very interactive session. I hope you're gonna have a beautiful day and a happy weekend. One final thing. So some of you, when you arrived, you wrote on the stickers what you would change if you had a superhero power and you could bring some justice to the world. What would you do? If you'd like, we would be happy to get some of the stickers back, and we will post them on social networks so that we can see a little bit what you guys would be trying to change. Because we also believe it's all about mindfulness, and it's all about also thinking positively. So if we manifest our wishes, maybe we're getting on the way to get the world a better place. So the next topic is going to be Muse. It's going to be a September session, last Friday in September, so stay tuned. Subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't subscribed yet. Follow us on our social networks, and we're gonna be super happy to see you in September. Bye!